started touring now, and people don't understand. I'm starting to see some of these things, how many people, how many lives he's saving on a daily level. We're talking about every spectrum of Judaism, from the most Hasidic guy who he's paid us up to here, to the most non-connected person. I don't care if he's Sephardic, Ashkenazic, Chabad, it doesn't matter. He is changing people's lives, helping people from preventing divorces, from helping people to get married and finding their shidduch, from helping people to move on with their lives from down points, from depression, from sadness, and using Rabbi Nachman's Torah from Breslov, and using all these other techniques between health and psychology. He's inspiring thousands and thousands of people. He went to New York a couple months ago, 1,000 people came to hear him speak. So he went from a couple of people here to 1,000 people in New York, and he's just getting started. So it's my privilege and an honor to welcome Gedale Fenster to the stage. Guys, everybody please give him a big round of applause.
Michael, thank you for the unbelievable introduction. I want to tell you, Michael is the #1 pain in the you-know-what. He literally went after me for 6 months and you have to teach, you have to teach, you have to say Mashiach. I said, listen, I got to get through my mother-in-law this weekend. We'll worry about Mashiach after. And Michael didn't stop. He didn't stop. And I can tell you, Michael, you have such benefits from, we did classes in Toronto, Montreal. I mean, I can't tell you the benefits that you're getting. You know, after Hashem put me in the addiction business, I realized when you see Jews coming into regular places and rehab, and you see why is this guy not getting it? What's the matter? How could this guy go to yeshiva and come to my rehab for addictions? What's going on? Like there's a disconnect. Why? What's going on? It's because what happens is Reb Nachman brings out the relationship where you don't see that too much today. It's where you see everybody's learning Torah. It's a tradition and there's no relationship with Hashem. What happens is when there's no relationship with Hashem, you give a kid an iPhone and he's lost. But if he has Emuna, he's there. So what I realized, I used to go to synagogue myself when I was 20 years old, and I would be like, well, when is this over? I better things to do. And only through the books of Rabbi Nachman really changed my life. And I said, there's something wrong with the system. We have to bring out these Torahs more into a Lahavdil, Tony Robbins approach, where people really see that it's all from the Torah. So my mission really is to bring these lofty concepts and these concepts you see in these books on top performance, psychology, and tell you, listen, there's nothing new under the sun. It's been there 250 years ago. That's my real mission, because there's so many people that they're going to other places to find and becoming Buddhism and Himalayans, and it's all right here. I'm telling you, listen guys, it's right here. It's in your face. Wake up, it's in your face. What are you running from? And once you see that connection, you see people really, you know what, where am I running to? So that's my really mission. And honestly, I can't tell you what Rabbi Arush is doing, Rabbi Brody's doing. I don't know too many people that have such a non-Jewish following than Rabbi Arush's classes and Rabbi Brody. I don't see it. I mean, I see people coming up to me, Jewish, non-Jewish. Oh, I love the Breslov classes. Not Jewish, we don't even. Because when people see the truth and they see light, they run. And that's the bottom line. And there's one thing called pursuing happiness and practicing happiness. Rabbi Nachman's teachings teach you how to practice it, not pursue it. The whole world is pursuing. We're practicing it. How are we practicing? Because we have the advice. The one thing I speak a lot with people, obviously, you know, I've had over 500 addicts come through my facilities, and they all have one common problem. What is an addiction really? It's running away from yourself. When you have an addiction, what are you doing? It's running away from yourself. So what happens is unfortunately today, if we don't have the right perception, if we don't have the right resilience, what happens? We numb life. We numb our heart. The same heart that you need to find your mission, it's the same heart that you're numbing in life. So I explain to people, don't ask why the addiction, but ask why the pain? What are you running away from? It's called life. You have to recycle pain. You can't run away from it. And there was nobody like Reb Nachman's teachings that give you that mindset on how to recycle pain, how to get through challenges. I myself went through a divorce. I myself went through major trauma. And I was always busy trying to fix a situation. I never thought it was me. I never thought it was me. So that's why I see a lot of people that they're headed in the wrong direction. And that's what we really want to do, bring perception. 2 weeks ago, I had a major breakdown. And I really, I do these classes. I think I have over 600 classes. And Baruch Hashem, a lot of followers, and I get so much experience just from people's stories and people's negative belief systems to tell you, listen, this is why are you thinking this way? Why are you thinking this way? So I realized I had a breakdown, and usually I have a good toolbox that I can really get out of any breakdown out there. I know how to get out of state, I know how to change my mind, I know what to focus on, because I'm living this stuff, I'm teaching this stuff, not only here, not even in the classes, but actually in my rehab also. And then 2 weeks ago, I couldn't get out of this funk for 1 week to almost a week and a half. For me to be in a funk for a week and a half is a long time. So I realized what's wrong, what's missing. All of a sudden, I see this book called Say Thank You and See Miracles, which I strongly recommend everybody to buy tonight. Say Thank You and See Miracles. And I actually did a class on this. And I said, what am I doing wrong? And I realized when I was reading this book, I was saying thank you, but I was saying thank you like, hey Alexa, say thank you. It wasn't coming from my heart. See, the difference is, I can tell somebody to say thank you, just like you could tell somebody, you should apologize to him. But he doesn't really mean it. So I realized, I can't say thank you unless I believe that this situation's for the best. Once I realized, first let me think, do I really believe this situation's for the best? Then I said thank you. So all of a sudden, what did I say? You know what? All of a sudden, I just said thank you. But I really meant it. See, the thoughts are the thoughts of the mind, and feelings are the language of the body. When your mind, when your feelings, your thoughts and your feelings, if you're not feeling the gratitude, there's a problem. That means if a person prays and he doesn't feel like a born-again person, there's a problem. That means there's a disconnect. So all of a sudden I realized, you know what? Something's off. So I started to realize, you know what? I didn't see the situation for the best. I was too busy focusing on gratitude just because I read it in a book. And then I realized, wow, what a big deal. My heart's not in it. See, here today we have a lot of apps, but we don't have that many hearts. A lot of apps. You have a gratitude app? You have a meditation app? No. Forget the apps. The problem is in the heart. So once I started saying thank you and believing it was for the best, unbelievable things started changing. Unbelievable, just by believing it and saying it's for the best. Because Rav Nachman says clearly, all problems today are in Emuna. Every single problem, I'm sure Rabbi Arush is going to tell you. Why? Because all actions are belief-driven. Every action I do today is based on my belief. If I decide prayer is a gift, then I'm going to approach prayer. If I think prayer is a chore, I'm going to go away from prayer. If I really want to have lasting change in my life, I have to go back to my belief system. And that's where you need your heart. So reading this book, all of a sudden I'm reading these 190 stories of people who all of a sudden said thank you and believe this was the best. And I said, you know what? If I really believe in it, let me start writing the letter of I said thank you and I got saved. So everybody's missions today is to write that letter. Be the 191st. I'll be the first 191st. You could be the 192nd person. That means if you really believed in it, what would you do? You would be writing a letter to Rabbi Arush saying, I went to the class on October 18th. I heard about thank you. I didn't put my heart into it. That's how you see salvations. When a person actually writes the letter, you see what happens is today, we're not all in. We're not all in. We're mediocre. Mediocre beliefs. The word mediocre comes from the word mediocre. It means middle of a mountain. When a person goes in with mediocre effort, it's like he's stuck in the middle of a mountain. So either we go all in, or we don't go in. And the price for not going in, obviously, is anxiety, depression, etc. So that's the number one thing. We all have problems. I always say, you're either in a problem, you just got out of a problem, you're about to go into one.